Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to your live Investment Dominator Q&A call. And as usual, I'm Warren Davis here on this interesting Monday, the 16th of March, 2020. And I do say interesting for all of the things that I'm sure all of you are aware going on in the world today with the coronavirus and the changes that we are preparing for. I hope all of you can hear me and you can see my screen. We're going to get your questions answered here. And so thank you very much for all of the hellos. I see Jim's out there and Kevin's out there and Bill's out there. And sure, there's quite a few of you on the call according to my indicators. There's quite a few of you, and that's great for this Monday. We are here for you to address all of your Investment Dominator questions, and we do want to make sure that we do address what, kind of like the elephant in the room. We wouldn't go by really addressing what, everyone's dealing with. Excellent. Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate that. I'm sure all of you are having to make certain changes. We've, this has been a very unusual Monday for us. We've been, out doing the shoppings necessary to get us ready, hopefully, for the next couple of weeks. We don't exactly know all that's in store, but with the coronavirus mandates that are about to come down, we understand that there's some business that we all have to take care of. And I just hope that you all stay calm, stay as cool and level-headed as you can. And the streets were very crowded today, and shopping stores are very crowded, and people were getting a little tense, but we try to stay cool and calm. I came out here from San Francisco, and as you're aware, that's earthquake country, and one of the reasons I moved out here was because I didn't want to be a part of the earthquake. We lived through a couple of them while we were there in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it got a little unnerving at times. But I try to keep my head in all situations, and I'm hoping that all of you will do the same and handle your business with your families, and make sure you're as protected as you can from this virus. One of the questions we're gonna of course get started with the questions that we got from Monday. I've had a few questions coming in already this evening, and I'm pretty sure we can address all of those questions. Won't take me long. I see your question, Bill, and got some other folks. Josh got some questions, and so we're going to get to those as soon as we can. Okay. One of the big questions we've had lately, which is very much understandable, is how is this with this pandemic, with the coronavirus, how would that really affect our business? Being that all of you that are here and you're all running your land businesses, and I want you to know that I haven't actually been in this business where we were in when we were hitting the last recession. We did have a recession. I think those of you remember back in about 2008, 2009 timeframe, and there's some good questions coming in here about the coronavirus and how it's going to affect our upcoming events. We'll get to those. But the last particular, we were on a call with Jack earlier today, and one of the questions he handled was, how, when you're in a recession, how does the land business fare? And he did say, as they went through the last recession back in 2008, 2009, and I did hear this, by the way, from other coaches that were also in the business at that time, that the land business fared quite well. As a matter of fact, they continued to do deals, and it makes perfectly good sense when people want to liquidate assets so that they can have cash in their pocket. You think about, well, what can I liquidate that I really haven't had to do much with? I can live without if I had to. And it helps secure my family's future. If you think about it, vacant land would be a logical choice. I know if I were sitting on several acres of land, and I had a company calling me or sending me neutral letters saying, hey, we want to buy that property from you, I would definitely be thinking about it very seriously, at a time like this. So as a matter of fact, we're looking at these next 3 months or so as not necessarily a bad time, even though there could be some challenges. We're looking at these next 3 months as opportunities for growth and opportunities actually to do more business with the land business. So that hopefully will help begin to answer some of your questions regarding that. One of the questions that I can address is along this same line, even right now, is we had a question that just came in about the 2-day workshop. From Dennis. The 2-day workshop is still going to go on. And the only thing is, and this is just news that we got today regarding the 2-day Investment Dominator Workshop. With the coronavirus, a lot of folks are not, wanting to travel at this time, and we completely understand that. So the 2-day workshop will still be held for the Investment Dominator. We're just going to do it online. So it'll be done virtually. And, Jack and company will be explaining how we're going to basically, teach a morning session. We'll have an afternoon session. It'll all be online where you can dial right in, kind of like a big Zoom session. We'll have the morning session, then those that will have questions or maybe having some issues with some of the things that were taught in like maybe the first 90-minute session would then hang around and we'll answer questions. And we're working out the details right now about how we're going to put all that in place, but it will be done basically virtually so that you don't have to travel. And then at a later time, when everything kind of settles down, the dust is settled from the, this particular time when you have to be staying in, once that's passed, we'll have a date where you can then come out to a physical 2-day workshop and kind of go through the whole process, with us right there in the room. And it'll be done, in the traditional manner and face-to-face instead of being on your computer. But that's how we're planning to handle that. So we'll still be planning to go through the 2-day workshop and give you all of the information you need to have so that you can move forward in your business. Okay? All right. Very good. 2-day workshop in April. Yeah, so we have 2 of those planned. We have an April 2nd and 3rd planned, and we also have a 20th and 21st planned. So we will, at this point, it looks like be having those virtually. And I'm sure you will find the information great, and we will do our best to answer all of your questions as we do every week, okay? So that is one question. We had a very interesting question come in from Monday's session, and we've had this before, so I just wanted to go on and address it as we're on the call today with everybody. Some folks have been suggesting, so what do you think about having, one of our sessions that we have on like Mondays or Thursdays for beginners and another one for more intermediate? And we've had that suggestion before. Let me just write it down here. Okay. Think about having a beginner and intermediate session separately. Okay. Well, what we think about that, it's a good suggestion. How to actually have it work out is another something else that we would have to deal with. And so far, you all have still just been seeing my screen on answering your questions. Let me going to at least move something over here that's a little bit more visible, visibly appealing to you. So you can, we'll begin to answer some of the questions using the Investment Dominator platform. So how that actually would play out, we wouldn't want, see, the whole reason why we set up these two webinars each week was so that everyone could just feel free to type in their questions, you know, actually rather anonymously, you know, I mean, you don't know the people, but they can just type in whatever question they might have. We don't want anyone to feel like their question is too basic or their question is too complicated for us to deal with on a particular call. You know, I do my best to handle all the questions, and we realize that everyone's at different levels in their business. And so they, you know, everyone wants to have, you know, obviously a session that would meet their level. But we wouldn't want anyone to think, well, my question is so basic that I don't even want to ask it, you know, in this session, or I can't come to the Monday session. I can't even come to the Monday session because, you know, that's for the advanced people. Or I can't come to the Thursday session because that's for advanced people. Also, we have this set up for different schedules because some folks can attend the Monday evening, which, you know, most of you are on right now. There's a lot, usually more that attend Monday evening than can attend on Thursday 12 noon. That's the other thing. It doesn't always accommodate everyone's schedule. So maybe even someone that might, if you set up the Thursday one to be the advanced, maybe they can't come on Thursday. Maybe the only time they can show up is on Monday, and they would, you know, basically go without getting their questions answered. So though it sounds like a good idea in theory, but when you actually try to apply it, it's difficult to handle, you know, coordinating all the schedules. Mike is saying he's not getting any audio. Okay. I'm going to do a sound check. My indicators are showing that I'm coming through loud and clear. As a matter of fact, my microphone is turned up. So, okay, I'm getting notes. Mike, I maybe have to turn up some of your volume. I'm getting that several people can hear me just fine. So I don't know exactly what to tell you there. That's my sound check. That's the best I can give you right now. So in any case, sorry about that. I'm hoping you can hear me well enough to understand what I'm saying. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Ed, you're just getting in. You must have just not heard my first part of it. The coronavirus, in terms of affecting our businesses, and we did mention that, you know, Jack was saying, you know, in the last time that they were obviously in the business for the last recession that we had around 2008, 2009, that this business, you know, actually thrived. And the main reason it thrived is because people, when they get ready to get into a cash place where they want cash in their pocket, they're more apt to sell you their property. So that would mean you would get more property under contract where people will say, I accept your offer. You'll give them these lower offers, excuse me, and they'll be more inclined to accept your offers. Now, that's stated in terms of the buying side. Now, a lot of the deals may be lower dollar deals, okay? So maybe in a situation where I might earn $20,000 or $30,000 profit, I might not earn 20 or 30, I might only earn 15,000 or maybe $13,000 because you have lower profits, but you also may have a lot of property being sold for much less than market value, and you want to be wherever, depending on where you're selling land at, you may have to lower some of your prices. That's understandable. But the whole point is money was still made and deals were still made from the perspective of those that were in the land business back in 2008, 2009. And I've heard this from a couple of coaches that this business still thrived. So I just want to encourage you, if you're in this business, the fact you are in this business, you're in a good place, and you should still be able to make money and do very well. So this is a time, I know for our company, we're going to ramp up. We're up to about 600 letters a week that we send out now, and we're going to just keep sending those out each week. And we're getting the deals, and I'm still encouraged that things are going to be fine through this time. I'm not a person that panics even when things get kind of tight, because I can't think that well when I'm panic mode. So I'm hoping that most of us can keep our heads, and I also believe that I'm going to be taken care of, and I'm going to do my best and work for my family, and if I think if you take that attitude, you'll fare a lot better than being in panic mode. We were witnessing that when we were out shopping, and it's just, it just made the whole experience just not very enjoyable when people are getting upset, especially taking toilet paper, so many stores were, I guess, limiting the number of toilet paper packs you can get. And one guy had 3 and he was only supposed to have 2, and lady got upset. So in any case, don't get into that. Try to help people if you can. So back to Investment Dominator. Hopefully you can see my Investment Dominator screen. I'm going to put it in full screen mode here. Just want to encourage you guys, keep moving forward, and you will still be able to enjoy not only your business but your life, even at this point during hard times. Okay, we did ask a question on Monday. Excuse me, this is Monday. We did ask a question on last Thursday, and it was regarding our tasks. And I just wanted to get back with you because I did check with Alex regarding, so when you go in to create an actual task. So Alex answered one of my questions, which had to do with when I add a task, specifically when we get down to this public to all. Now, obviously I would add a task. It wouldn't be pending. It would probably be in progress. I would give a title to the task. I would give a description, and I would assign that task to someone. But let's say, and you get to the public to all, that you wanted everyone on your team. So anyone listed under your team, all of these participants, let's say if I were adding a task, I wanted them to all get that same task. So the task I add, when I say yes, public to all, and of course it has to fall within these parameters, start and end date. But when I actually assign this task, rather than having to come up here and list their name, when I say yes, public to all, that means anyone on my team, any of the participants on my team that I have as a registered user into this account, that particular task would be assigned to them. So that's just a question I wanted to answer from our last class on Monday, or our last webinar on Monday. The public to all field is it for assigning to all users? And the answer is yes. Okay. Okay, just so I can make sure that we're probably going to kind of be all over the place here today, and that's understandable. I'm getting questions from, a lot of different sources. Bill had a question there. I want to make sure I get Bill's question regarding, it looks like he's talking about his squeege page. Squeege page, when I type my URL into the oh, I think you mean the browser, it goes to the website, goes to the squeege page for a couple of seconds, and then goes to the landing listing page. Okay. All right. So let's just look at what he's talking about when he talks about the squeeze page. So the squeeze page looks like displays for a moment. And then it goes to the landing listing page. Okay. Goes to landing listing. Well, let's see if I can recreate that here. So what he's talking about when he says the squeeze page, Bill is speaking about the opt-in page. This is a page that should collect anyone that goes into your selling site. It should collect the person's name and email address. So when I hit selling page, as you can see, it's not showing my what we call squeeze page or opt-in page. So let me look under customize, and I'll look under my website selling. And I want to come down here and make sure that my squeeze page, okay, it says here default. That should cause it when I go to my website, my selling site, it should cause that. What I should see first is this page, buying at great prices. And you can see here where in order for them to view the deals, they have to enter the first and the last name, first and last name and email address. So it looks like for some reason, let's see here. Selling site, okay. It looks like it's bypassing that right now. Let me check something here. Website settings. So if I type in another URL, megalands.com. Okay, so it looks like with Investment Dominator, it did that for me too. Okay, I guess I can recreate that. You all can see that. See, when I typed in Megaland, so this is my selling site, it goes to the squeeze page just for a moment, and then it goes directly into the deals. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Let me come over here. This is another account. And I look at my websites. Now this is a different account. So I'm going to check my website settings selling. Make sure that it's set for default. I can also set it for Warren's custom opt-in page. So I'm going to see if it works good with this default first. So I come up here under my selling. It's not bringing up that particular page. Let me, just for grins here, I'm going to change this to Warren's custom opt-in page. Update the site. Okay. Selling. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. There's something is awry here because this is the squeeze page. This is the opt-in site, but I specifically set it up for Warren's custom opt-in page. So something is not processing correctly here. Because what I'm expecting to see when I hit opt-in page, oh my gosh, something is really off here. That's my buying site. This is my buying site, and that should not be displaying there. Okay, well, thank you, Bill. I think you, oh, let's see. Custom pages. I think you might have just pointed out an issue we have here. Okay, well, my custom opt-in page is not, yeah, here it is. It's actually Anita's custom opt-in page is what it's going to, that's the URL. So that's what I should be saying is Warren's custom opt-in page. Let's see if we can get this to work. Okay. So we edited here. Selling site. We'll see if we can force it to work because, okay, Warren custom opt-in page. That is what I want to see. So now when I configure that on my selling site, went back to default. I want to do custom Warren's custom opt-in page. I'm going to update my site here. Sorry about this, folks. This should be working a little differently than it is, but we're going to see if we can get it to work here. On the website, selling site. Okay, that's still giving us this opt-in page. This is an opt-in page, but this is the default opt-in page. This is not my custom opt-in page. What I'm expecting, and that's going to my buying site. So we've got, I'm sorry, we've got kind of a bug here. I'm going to see if it's just not working right in this account. So it might be a bug that's been introduced all the way around, Bill. So thank you for pointing that out. Okay. Okay. I'm going to look into that one and get it fixed. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to point down, this is an issue I need to talk about with Alex and the company. I know they're making some, they've made some changes to our, and they're testing some of these changes out that for a new version of the Investment Dominator should be coming out here in the next, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But in any case, I will get that fixed because we do want to make sure that when you go in and you hit your opt-in page, that this is the opt-in page that displays. We also want to make sure that since your opt-in page is enabled under your website settings selling, see, this is not updating. That's part of the problem. This is not updating. It's when I update it to custom, Warren's custom opt-in page, and hit update site. That's part of the problem right there, I think. And I come back into the selling. Oh, well, there it did. It updated. Okay. See, in my former past, I've been but this is the default. This is the wrong opt-in page. So, I was a computer programmer when I first got in IT. So this kind of stuff just drives me nuts. Thank you, Amy. It looks like we've had some issues with updating. So anyway, I'm going to speak with Alex, just updating the website settings selling. Okay, we'll get it fixed. We will get it fixed and get they'll get a new version out for everybody. So hang in there. At least I'm aware of it now. I've seen it. I can reproduce it. And okay, very good. Okay, when using, let's see here, what do we want to talk about next? When using a vendor, we got it's kind of a business question here, but it still is related to Investment Dominator. When you have a list vendor like Agent Pro 247 or ReboGateway, is it normal to get only 70 or 100 records back or 150 records back? This is a Larry question. And no, that's not normal. Agent Pro 247, I can address it pretty quickly though, in terms of what I'm seeing people have been doing. One of the parameters that a lot of students are using, the reason why they're getting back so few records when they put in their criteria, I'm hoping you're asking for land that is vacant, but also between 5,000 and maybe 100,000. Some are going 5,000 and 150,000. But the big thing that cuts down all of your numbers in terms of what you're going to get back from Agent Pro 247 or ReboGateway is when you say out-of-state owners. So a lot of students are selecting the criteria to be out-of-state owners. That will significantly reduce the numbers that you get back. So please, now what I request is I want owners that are not in the same county as the parcel. So let's say if I were looking at a parcel in Harnett, I just want owners whose mailing address is outside of, Harnett County, whatever county you might be working with. So that will get you more owners. Now, they might be in the next county right over, but I don't care about that. I just don't want them to reside in the same county. I don't want the person I'm trying to buy land from to be right across the street from the parcel. That's my point. So if you can, make sure you specify that you don't want them to reside in the same county as the parcel. And using ReboGateway or Agent Pro 247, you'll still get your numbers up there, okay? All right, let's see, any more questions? All right. Any more questions regarding that are new coming in here? We've answered the questions on how we see the coronavirus handling, you know, affecting our business. Okay. So some of you may be looking, you're at the marketing phase and you want to get some of your ads critiqued. Okay. And I think I don't want to go by Jim's question. Okay, good suggestion, Jim. We might be having we'll look at having, he said, once a month, having a multi-hour beginner session on Facebook instead. Okay, that might work. Okay. Can we have beginner sessions on another platform like Facebook? I can't say that I can make that happen, but you know, because for the reasons I stated, you know, this is the only place that a lot of folks can get their Investment Dominator questions answered if they're, you know, not in the coaching program and they, you know, they're running in snags. So that's why we try to, as much as possible, answer every single question. If I don't get it answered one day, I will definitely answer it so that it's in the Investment Dominator on the replays. Hopefully everybody knows how to get those replays. Go to help and, you know, weekly live training, and then you click here for all of your replays, and it will come up with everything that we discussed and everything on each call that we discussed with the associated timestamps. So I'm hoping everybody knows how to go there. I can't promise that we'll be able to do another session on Facebook or anything like that, but we will definitely look into that and look into that suggestion, or some other platform. Okay. All right, we will move on here. Let me see if I've got any more questions that have come in. Okay. Okay. Yeah, if you could, if it's a question, just type in the word question or put the question marks before the question so I know like I have a question from Thomas, how do you determine that? And I'm not clear on what the context of that question. So Thomas, if you give me a few more words there to say, how do you determine that? What's the that you're speaking of? I'll hopefully be able to address that question. Oh, with the out-of-county owners. I don't know how they will address it with you know, like ReboGateway or Agent Pro 247 unless they can control it by way of you know, the zip codes. If the parcel is in a specific zip code, I believe you can request from them, or I think there's a way to request the data that doesn't, you know, where the owner's mailing address zip code is not in that same zip code as the parcel. So that may be one way to determine, you know, to get owners that are outside of that county. It may not be a foolproof way because some counties span multiple zip codes, but at least if you know what zip code the owner's in, and you know the zip code that the parcel is in, you could hopefully get your list. You'll get more data, is my point, with those owners that are, you know, out of that specific zip code. We really want them out of a particular county. So, and understand from my perspective, the way I go after my data is I go directly to the county. You're welcome, Dennis. I go directly to the county. I don't go through Agent Pro or ReboGateway. So I can't say I'm an authority or an expert on using ReboGateway or Agent Pro 247. Okay. Okay. So owners. Okay. 38. Okay, let's move on here with some questions I can probably knock out pretty fast that came from the other day. Okay, so several students were asking, is there any way to reset the IDs or the, I'm assuming we're talking about the land record IDs. Can we reset them? And the answer, record IDs, can we reset them in the Investment Dominator for after each import? Okay. And we have this question ever so often. Basically, in your land records, when Investment Dominator, when you import, you know, you come in, you import, you choose a file, you upload the list. Investment Dominator is going to come back and going to put all of those records into prospect status, but they give you these unique ID numbers here. They, and you know, and for your account, Investment Dominator will increment these ID numbers. So if this one is 403, if I were to come over here and do an import, it's going to start with record number 404 if it hasn't already used that. And you know, if I'm importing 50 records, it'll go 404 through 454 basically. And those records will have these new unique identifiers. So the question is, if we come in here and we delete a bunch of records. So if I come up under team, I believe it's team and activity log, and I find my last import, let's just see if I can find one in here. Okay, add by importing a list. So I come over here to this question mark and I get my range. Now this one says 398 through 403. So that's only 5 records. But if it were 500 records, and I come in here now and I search for those records in Investment Dominator, I select them, and then I come over here and I delete those. The students are asking, is there a way to reset these numbers so that when we import again, see, because remember, the last import is going to start at 404 and it's going to go up to 454 if that's, you know, the number of records you've imported. But when I delete it, it just deletes those same 50 records and it's going to start at 455. And if I import again, it's going to start at 455. And if I import that 50 records, it's going to come up to, you know, 505 again, or 504, something like that. So you see, every time I import, Investment Dominator keeps track of the record identifiers for this account that it has already incremented. So students want to be able to come in here, delete records, and then have it start over with this number again. And so the question is there any way to have each import, you know, start over with previous number it's already used? And the answer to that question is no, because what Investment Dominator does is it creates unique records for each land record that it puts into Investment Dominator, but at the same time, it creates a unique, see, this is the property ID number, but it creates a separate database file. It creates your owner ID. So this owner 280, which is Kenton Plegerson, if Kenton has multiple parcels, the owner's ID in the owner ID file will be 280, but this number, each time Kenton is imported for Kenton, if he's got multiple parcels, will, could have 402, 403, 404. That's the way Investment Dominator works. This data is representing two completely separate files. There's a property ID file and there's an owner file. These are two separate files. And this is how Investment Dominator keeps data from being duplicated so that you don't have records that get duplicated in Investment Dominator. That's the only way we could think to do it, is to create these unique identifiers. So that's the long answer to no, there's no way that we can reset these property ID numbers. Every time you do an import, it's going to keep incrementing based on your account. So I hope that kind of explains a little bit more about how Investment Dominator works. The next question we got from Joan was basically, where exactly is my Investment Dominator account number located? Okay, that's a quick, easy one. My ID account located for access. And a lot of folks are asking this because they want to be able to, they want to be able to give their information, like they're going to supply it to PatLive. You need to give PatLive this information here. So let me copy that and show you. Okay, so if you were to give PatLive this HTTPS, they could actually bring up your login page. But this is your account number. This, after this REIC-CRM / this CRM- whatever this number is, this is your unique account number for each of your accounts. And so you find it right when you log into your account under wherever you log in, you can look at the CRM- and that's your account number right there. So, I say that to say, if you're trying to give your information to PatLive or some other user, maybe you have a user that's a partner, for them to be able to log in to your account, this is the information that you would have to give them for the login page to come up, okay? So hopefully that is clear. Great questions tonight, as usual. Okay, that's kind of a long one. It's gonna take us a while to answer. Okay, we got a question coming in here. This will dominate his site. Okay, Amanda, let me make sure I clear this up. Do I need my own website address? For the letters, or use the Investment Dominator site address? Okay. The ID site address. Okay, you're definitely going to be using your Investment Dominator site address. If I were to come into, let's go into this account because this has a nice, these sites have been already located. I mean, it has a nice URL. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. When it comes to the letters, let's come into campaigns, and we're going to produce our, now these are your neutral letters. These are your neutral letters here that are going to go out of Investment Dominator. So I produced the letters, and as you can see, the site is www.sellyourlandfaster.com. Okay, this is the site that's going to be on your neutral letters. That particular site is, it's going to show your buying site, which is the www.sellyourlandfaster.com. So this is a site within the Investment Dominator that you're going, that you get free. All right, you get your buying site and your selling site for free, that are going to be referenced in your neutral letter, right? So just so I make sure I clear, you don't want to use the Investment Dominator site address that I was just referring to. You don't want to use this address here. That's not what you want to use. Your letters are clearly going to use the URL or the selling site name. That's what's going to be referenced here on your Investment Dominator neutral letters that go out to your customers. Okay, I'm hoping that's clear. Okay, good question, Amanda. And Mike, okay, the support email. Okay, Mike, why don't you type in what your question is again, and we'll see if we can answer it here. If we have it, if we have the time that we can answer it here. If not, then I will make sure I get it answered for Thursday's class. Okay. Okay. So Ed, we did address speculating on how we felt the coronavirus issue would be affecting our business. And we did speculate on the first best and worst case scenario. Oh, tasks. Okay. Okay, how to create a task. Okay, well, in order to do that, Ed, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call your attention to, since we're going to run out of time for me to actually do it here. Let me call your attention to the help guide. Let's see. How to generate tasks. Yeah, we want to do our best to get all of your questions answered. I'm just going to come up here under and just type in tasks. So I'm searching our user guide. Went up under help, search our user guide, tasks. There should be a series of articles, how to create a task and assign that task to a user. That's one. A location that this particular article here, it's also a video. will show you how to actually create a task and how to assign that task to a user. Okay, so that's just simply in your user guide. And if you look at some of the replays, I believe in this last one, we just had a little discussion on tasks here, and when you want to use public for all. So we do have some particular trainings where we talk specifically about tasks. And I think of the last 2 or 3, I've been ending up speaking about tasks for some reason. So hopefully, I thought it was here, but I think if you just, the last one said was 6.3, but in any case, that article should give you some specifics on how to create a task. And if you want to do more than what is illustrated in that, please, let me know on the next call. Bring in your questions on if you want me to go in more detail, and we'll see if we can get it all covered up for you. I'm apologizing if you sent yours in to the actual ticket system, because we do tell people you can come under help and create a support ticket and also type in your question here. And when you send this in with, of course, associated, you create a new support ticket, it should go before Alex and company, and we get your questions answered that way as well. So our aim is to do our best to support you in your company. I mean, because I'll tell you, you people inspire me. Just you have guts, and you're out here doing it, and I'm telling you, it always inspires me each week. So I'm going to do my best to get some answers to you. Okay, so that's about all we're going to have time for today. We did want to make sure that if there's any questions we missed, we will make sure that we get them answered by our next class. Our next webinar will be on Thursday at 12 noon, and that's actually now Pacific time, so it'll be like 3 p.m. Eastern time, okay? You are very welcome, Amy, and let me just leave you all with this quote. And we quoted this a long time ago, but I think in this particular time we're in, it's very appropriate, and it comes from Nelson Mandela. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man or woman is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. That's from Nelson Mandela. And one of the most profound truths I've ever learned in my own life personally is, people who do courageous things, they don't do them with the absence of fear, but they do them in spite of fear. I've learned that some of the greatest things that I've ever accomplished in my life, I always had fear was there, but I can't wait till the fear goes away before I take action. So another quote I like, which is from an anonymous person, is don't let the fear of what might happen make nothing happen. Okay, so continue to move forward. Thank you, Thomas. I just really appreciate you people, and I get a lot from you. So have a good week. We'll see you on Thursday, or talk to you on Thursday again. And take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. Bye-bye now.